do have this capability.
Thank you.
And we are recording. All right. So, Lynn Fraley, we've come a long way. We've come a long way. Lynn Fraley.
I got my paper hat. I got my mask. I stepped into my cloth gown, put on my paper shoe covers, and I am ready to go into room 17 to take care of that patient who has a radium implant in her body post hysterectomy. Now you might be saying to yourself, hey, you're all dressed up for what? A radiation exposure? Yes, I was, and that's what we did in the day. It was a bit of a farce, one might think, but that's the best that they knew. We have to protect ourselves in some way, so we'll just put on all these things, and where I learned about mask behavior too as well. We might wonder why we do some of the things that we've done in healthcare. We have come a long way, and we have a long way to go. Now we know a lot more about the risks of radiation, and what I wanted to share with you today is some of the comparisons between what we've done, what we're doing currently, and some of the themes that have carried through. And I want to support you in having a sense of your own empowerment so that you can make choices for yourself as to the kind of care you want, because you have much more ability to choose than you might think you have. Back in the day also, I remember taking care of women who had preterm labor. And one of the ways to manage preterm labor was to give these sweet women an alcohol drip. So we have into their arms tubing with a needle, and then we have a bottle of solution with alcohol dripping into their body to help them not go into labor early. We're nourishing the baby with mainline alcohol at the same time. Now, what could go wrong with that? This is at the same time when you see babies born with fetal alcohol syndrome because their mother was drinking during the pregnancy. Now we know a lot more about alcohol. And so what I want to share with you today is really things you can do today. And just be aware that an enormous amount of marketing has gone on for technologies that could be old, but they're not economically beneficial to be replaced. Let's bring up today to mammograms as an example. Now, mammograms is a standard of care for women, and get them early and often, ladies, starting at the age of 40, every 2 years or every 1 year. I don't know, what is it? Until you're 70, well, until we stop calling you. Except that underneath this whole issue of mammograms, we have a body of knowledge that we may not be privy to. Now, currently, women are, now you get the picture here, right? Descriptive language. We have the breast. We have the breast between plates of metal, and it is being compressed. And the woman says, please, it's hurting me. And the technician says, oh, and squeezed it more. Now, what could go wrong with this? Well, some people have said they've heard bursts during this activity, like maybe a tumor broke. Oh, we don't have any proof. However, you know, when you hear something, you say, I don't know, my lying eyes, you know, my lying ears, or we can have damage. A woman told me that she went for her mammogram and she had that experience. It's too tight, don't do it so tight. And the woman just cranked down a little bit more. So the thought is, if we compress the breast and flatten it out, we can see better. With radiation, flat, okay. She left the exam room and she said her breasts were changed forever. There was damage in her breast and she did not have the lift she had. She was large-breasted and she knew very well that her breasts were changed. Oh, where's the research? Research starts with a sample of one. You do not need a body of knowledge to tell you what your experience is. That's the good news. What are the options? Oh, there are some fabulous options now. Will your doctor tell you? Of course not, because your doctors may own a vineyard, may have no access to this, may have no knowledge, experience, trust, belief. It doesn't matter, because it's you who gets to offer up your breasts, your whatever else part of your body you want for your own care. And you're the one that basically signs your own check. You're the one that has to take responsibility. Oh, the doctor made me do it. Do we hear that now? Do we hear that the doctor made me do it? People are making people do all kinds of things, or so they say. But generally, I've never heard anyone be arrested to have a mammogram. A fabulous alternative, and you can read about it, although it'll be challenging to find exactly who does it and who reads it, are thermograms. They're absolutely spectacular. They show you changes in the breast well before mammograms can show you anything. The mammogram will show you a formed tumor, even if it's a head of a pin size. The thermogram will show you circulation that's growing up into the breast that's maybe looking to support blood supply to a tumor that could be growing. Well, we have the blood supply changing when the body's still possibly going under potential for healing. So we can turn it around, and women have changed the course of this. Another piece of technology that's not spoken of a lot is ultrasounds. Wonderful confirmation. You don't use a standalone. You got a problem, you get a complement. You have your doctor or your nurse practitioner or someone else help examine you. You complement the thermogram with what I just said, the ultrasound. Very accurate, very highly effective. Together, they could be 95% great, and that's better than effective and better than a mammogram. Today is the day to be empowered. Today is the day to let our rich imagery disappear. The fear that we have about our breasts and all that stuff, let go of it, ladies, because the chances are really pretty small that you're going to have a breast problem. And the chances are very good that if you do things like supplement and eat more vegetables and all kinds of things that I'm writing about in my book called Cherish the Girls, a well-rounded approach to breast health and wellness. It's the tip of the iceberg. There's so much written about it. I'm not a cancer expert, but I know a lot about health and healing. We've come a long way. Don't let the descriptive language that may have taken you in this talk go fallow. Use your own descriptive language, your own imagery for your own healing, and be empowered. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Did I make it on the time? Oh, she's muted.
7 minutes, 22 seconds.
Oh, all right.
You did it.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you.
I'm going to put a minute on the timer.
All right.
So that Hedda can write her notes.
Good. And I can't talk to her.
Mm-hmm. We can get started. Oh gosh.
Where are you from, Hannah?
Germany.
Emeryville?
Germany.
Germany.
Yes.
Good.
I'm speaking out of my heart. I have a story to tell.
Oh,
Yeah.
can you hear me now? I'm from Maldives.
Great. We can hear you. I can hear you.
You can hear. All right. Yeah. It's. I think it's connection. It gets stuck here, and then maybe some interruption going on. Yeah.
And that's our minute. Lynn, I always love this topic. I've done thermograms for a long time. And I do like them much better. Needless, there's no pain.
No pain, and it gives you data you can work with as opposed to, we see a weather map over Montana here. What is it?
Yeah.
Linda, I can make a referral you to a doctor named Amalu, A-M-A-L-U, is an expert in reading them. He suggests you have him read them because a lot of people will, even the person I was going to, I'm changing because whoever reads it is also the other piece of it. But
Yeah.
the truth is we all have small chances.
Yeah. A referral to both would be great. Thank you.
Okay. I will send it to you.
Yeah, I was going to say something very erudite. Oh, I have dense breasts.
Oh, I forgot to mention that. Oh,
Yeah.
well, then that, you know what, that is bad for our equipment.
I know, and the scare was, you need to come in and see us. Oh,
Yeah.
what for? No, you need to come in and see us. And so I went in, and they had an ultrasound tech,
Oh, good.
and she goes, "Why the hell did they ask you to come in? You've got
Exactly.
dense breasts."
Right.
So I now do the ultrasound with the mammogram just for that.
Oh, no, you mean thermogram?
Well, when I went back to mammograms,
Why?
I've done both. I've been flip-flopping back and forth. I like the thermogram a whole lot better. But
I'll
anyway,
tell you one thing I've meant to say in my speech, there is no safe dose of radiation.
right.
That's the bottom line. So Madame Curie probably had some good uses for the radiation, but I'll tell you, misapplied in women's breasts.
Yes.
No
Yeah.
safe dose. All right, thank you.
Okay.
May I just say something? I was
Absolutely.
25 and in Germany still, I had dense breasts. The professor in Germany said to me, then we talk like 50 years ago, right? Hedda, be careful. If some of the colleagues want to give you mammograms, you will end up, if you have yearly a mammogram, with breast cancer from the radiation alone. And you cannot imagine how I needed to fight to not get that. And so, and there was this one female doctor here. I said, I'm not coming in, I'm requesting ultrasound. And she said, that's not how we do it. She was so insulting. And at the end, I said, you know what? I'm not going to do it, no matter what you say. We do this in Germany. We do ultrasound. And if something suspicious is there, then this is the last resort. She was so upset. I haven't done an
Mammogram?
mammogram ever since. Not necessary. And the thermography is the best solution
It
as
is.
an alternative. You can't imagine how it touched my heart when you said, yes. Oh, cool. Yeah.
Good. Thank you, Hedda. That's awesome. We should talk.
Absolutely. I was thinking of that, definitely.
And Lynn, I'm going to point at you, Lynn. You promised me your book that I could read it. I
Yes.
could review it.
Today it's going up on Book Funnel. I will send you anyone else who wants I'm doing an open invitation to people, but otherwise I say people have to apply a little bit, but I'm happy to send you
Please do.
anyone who
Yeah.
wants the copy.
Yeah.
It's not the last word, but it's basically consciousness raising because people have never heard of some of these things.
Yeah. Well, and I did labor and delivery when I was in nursing.
I remember that.
Yeah. So much fun. Okay.
All right.
All right. So my presentation is Linda Patton, the good, the bad, the confluential, the good, the bad, the confluential, Linda Patton. How many of you have had a leader that you were scared to death of, that you said, I don't want to be that leader? How many of you have had a leader that you said, I wish she just had a backbone, or he had a backbone and could stand up for us with senior management?
Yeah.
So these are some of the good and or some of the bad in leadership. What I come out of 15 years of the military. I retired as a United States Army major. I was in leadership. I learned the masculine form of leadership, which is command. Command does require you to be decisive, to be intelligent, to be focused, to have organization, structure, strategy. But you're always telling people what to do. That hand comes out and you tell them what they're going to do, where they're going to do it, how they're going to make it happen. You brook no questions. Just do it. Generally, the picture that people see of a leader is a man, generally with a little snow on the sideburns, wearing a suit, a school tie, perhaps a lapel handkerchief, very much in control, very much rigid. And they generally, as I said, are telling you what to do. On the other hand, I do have women who say, I had a woman leader. And she was just like the men. She told me what to do. She was rigid. She was harsh. I don't understand. Why didn't she understand that I, as a woman, wanted a different kind of leader? Well, then what we get, because for women, there's this real dichotomy between, should I be like the man? Should I be like a woman? And so we come out as Cruella de Vil a lot of times. Or we come out as grandma, this very nice, wonderful woman who wants to bake you cookies, give you tea, whatever it might be your best friend. And that doesn't work either. When I started teaching all of this, I still very much maintained my masculine command. I gave direction. I told people what to do. When I got out of corporate and went into teaching on my own business, what I found was my clients weren't happy, and they were what I like to call one and done. They do one project with me and then say, thank you very much, but we're not going to renew your license. What? But I'm the best you have. Yes, but our clients don't like you. They find you too harsh. The people who were working with me were what I like to call slipping away in the night. And I never knew why. So I moved from my head, which is where command comes from, to my heart. And I moved hard into my heart. And I tried to be everyone's friend. I wanted to make sure that everyone liked me. And I don't make friends easily. So this was very difficult for me, and it was difficult to hang on to. And what I found was when I had to make those difficult calls, somebody didn't meet a deadline, someone didn't do a good job in a class, whatever it might be, they all said to me, but you're my friend. I can take this time off. I don't have to do that. You can do it for me. Or they were out the door, just like the ones who didn't like me as a commander. And all I could say is, why can't we get anything done here? What I found was there is a better way. And in a class that I was teaching called Awaken the Leader, my class came together and we were talking about, this blend of masculine and feminine. What do we call it? What's the word for it? And so they're throwing out all sorts of words, and they came up with confluence, like a river. And I said, yeah, that's close, but that's not quite it. It's confluence. It's the first three letters of command with the end of influence. Confluential. It comes together like a beautiful dance. And I always use either the Argentine tango, which is very romantic, very passionate, very together, or the paso doble, which has a lot of passion in it as well. But there are moments when they're together, there are moments when they're apart, but without each other, the dance is flat. The dance doesn't have any of the excitement that you expect. So with confluential, you lead with the feminine. You lead with the curiosity, the creativity, the community, the empathy, all of that. My favorite question, just curious. Just curious, what were you thinking when you said that? Just curious, What made you say that thermography is better than mammography? That kind of question, curiosity. You don't necessarily want to be everyone's best friend, but you do want to know what makes them tick. What are their goals? What are their visions? What's their passion? How can you best use that and have them happy, excited, and pleased to be part of your team? And then it follows with the masculine organization, structure, and strategy. So you need both, but you lead with the feminine and masculine supports. That's what's important about Confluential. And when you can be curious, you can have a really powerful leadership experience, and your people will be part of you. I wrote a book called No One Stood Up When I Entered the Room, One Woman's Journey from Command to True Leadership, which talks all about it. Madam Toastmaster.
Woohoo.
Woo! Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, I will give you a minute, Lynn, to
Thank you so much.
bring your notes together.
Thank you.
That's a minute.
Good.
Okay. So Hedda, would you like to, it's not would you give your evaluation of Lynn's presentation? And if I remember right, these are 3 minutes. So I will hold up the cards at 1, 2, and 3.
All right. Lynn, it's just beautiful to listen to you. You come across these wonderful, it's the strength, and yet very, very personable. You know, it's not like when I hold a speech and I try to get through the time, you have this security of pacing yourself right. And it's not only strong, you know, there is so much power in it, and you are enveloping this power with so much personality and warmth. And you give also with certain information, you just left a moment to think about. I was so at awe what you revealed, because it's so much on my alley. And I just think to giving a speech with the right pace, the information, I hope every woman who hears your speech wants definitely to know more. You know, it's what you have to offer is life-saving, really, truly. And what else can I say? To me, it was the most exciting speech. I have 2 very exciting speeches, but yours was so natural, so confident. You're just a wonderful speaker. What can I say? I mean, really, I wouldn't know to have anything that I would criticize. To me, this has been the most perfect speech when it comes to presentation, content, and also just the way you presented it. That's pretty much all I can say to this. Is like, wow.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, but if I'm like you soon, hopefully, I already.
Honey, you're so a million times better.
Oh, no, no, that's not true. No, really, thank you. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Hedda, so very, very much. All right, Miss Lynn.
Now I have the privilege of giving an evaluation to Linda Patton about her incredible speech. Linda, I loved how you opened with questions that were relevant to all of us. And you paused and you allowed us to really hear the question. It wasn't like, who's from here, who's from here? It was solid, engaging, and it kind of gave us a direction of where you might be going. I loved your visuals of the leaders. Very good. I had a director of nursing I flashed to who sat in her office with her hands folded on her desk with her white hat on, white uniform. She looked like Mrs. C's. And she was the leader, you know, the leader of the nurse. I thought she ain't doing nothing for anybody there. So I loved how you really made it very rich imagery about what leaders look like and how they acted. I thought it was a good use of body language. And I didn't mind you sitting. That's perfectly fine. I liked how you used your hands, you used your body. Good use of body was even with sitting, no problem. I especially liked how you did a lot of revealing. I mean, we've seen you, you're a hot shot, you know how to do things, you get things done. And it was very touching to see how you say how you failed, how you learned, how you course corrected, how you're able to grow into the woman the leader you are now, and you're superb. You know, everyone thinks, oh, you've always been a great leader. So you didn't just tell us about what a good leader it was, you showed us your own evolution of it, which was very powerful. And touching that you would reveal that, because a lot of people, oh, are you kidding me? A man ain't gonna reveal shit, you know. Oops,
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, we're all tough, we all know how to do it. The little bit of stretch I might give you, well, I just want to brag a little bit more about you. The fact that you are a leader for this club, which is a big club and a powerful club and a cool club, and you showed your own growth, I think is very inspiring to everyone. The stretch I would give you is to sit up as straight as a pin, and maybe even put a little pillow behind your back when you're sitting, because you can claim your physical power even in a chair, as you know. But that's the only stretch I would give you, is just to even do maybe a stretch before you do your talk, to just give yourself a little bit more of a lift. And that is all I can say, honey. Thank you so much for being just giving a very impactful speech, very inspiring, very grounded in leadership, because leaders show people how to do things and what they share their experiences for good or bad. You know, this is the warts and all. So back to Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Lynn.
You like the warts and all?
I do. And let me tell you, there were quite a few. In fact, there still are.
Nurse to nurse.
Yes.
We never stop growing.
I'm sorry?
We never stop growing.
No. If we do, we die.
Darn. Right? Yes.
I mean, that's what they say about trees and plants, and you know, when they stop growing, they die.
Yeah.
So we're no different.
Right.
So, okay, technically we're supposed to go to table topics, which would be good, because then we can get Hina and Frederica involved. And what do I want to talk about? I know this is our last Women's History Month meeting. And what I'd like to ask Hina and Frederica to talk about is, who is that woman leader, that woman inspiration that has brought you to where you are today?
I can take I can take a go at that.
Okay, and these are 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, so they're short.
No
Go.
problem. No problem with that. Good evening. Good afternoon to some of us on this platform. As you know, I'm Federica Alexander Duran from Dominica. So time is a little different. To answer this question, who is that woman who has been influential to me? And I always say that's the second time I've been asked that question during this month, is my mother. Great inspiration as a single mother. She did a very, very good job. At the age of 8, she was going through a splendid marriage, and all of a sudden my father disappeared. How did she cope as a person who was not working, not employed? It's only by magic. My mother instilled some values in me from the time my dad left, that all I knew, I had to get a good job. I had to get a good education. I had to make it so I can prove to my father that without him, as women, we could still do it. My mother is everything to me. She means everything to me. She's my support. She's my rock. And therefore, that's why she's my influential woman in my life. Back to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Frederica. That was marvelous. And your mom's still with you?
Very, she's only 78 years old.
How
She
old?
looks
I'm
young,
sorry.
takes care of herself.
Yeah. And how old is she?
78 years old.
Oh, okay.
And she's a young girl.
I was gonna say she's a young person at 78.
Yeah, we travel, we do everything together. She's good.
All
She's good.
right. All right.
She has the
Thank you
support
so-
now. She supported me, I support her now, you know? Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. I love
Yeah,
mother
good.
stories. All right,
Yes.
Hina, how about you?
Yeah. Shall I start?
Yes,
Even,
please.
yeah. Even I was very inspired with the speech just spoken. Same with me. My most influential person in my life is my mother. I come from a family of 9, and imagine me, I'm the eldest. And then survival was the only thing from me from the age of 10. So seeing such a woman with so much, pressure, everything happening around, my father here at times and then gone away, but still my mom and dad still there together.
Mhm.
Still they were supportive even though he was alone. But as a woman, she taught me a lot. We have 5 of us. We are women in our family out of the 9, and then like whatever the man support the so-called man has to do, we do it at home. I do it. Even sometimes doing some building up work, but she never gives up. She made sure that we go to school, and with the little money my dad sent me home when he was away, she was doing wonderful. Some days when we don't have milk, there's the roti you must have known. She just mix it with water and then gives us and say, yeah, this is milk for you. That's the inspiration. She never gives up. She always find a solution to overcome whatever there is. So being a woman now, I'm almost 50 plus now. Even with my mother 65 plus, our age difference is just 15 years. Imagine being married at the age of 15 and raising up 9. There's nothing else to say. And they are my mom is very lucky to be with my dad, and still I'm there. So I owe all my strength more comes from my mom and as well dad, but the most is from my mom, and she is the most influential person in my life. That's it. Yeah.
Thank you, Rena. Hina, where did you say you were from?
Maldives.
The Maldives. Okay.
Maldives, yeah.
All right. Hannah, do you want to do one?
Yeah, one of my favorite women has always been Mother Teresa. Being so unselfish, putting her life out to save countless lives in her country. It takes such a big heart. It takes so much compassion that is beyond her own being. So I think uh, just seeing her, having seen her small, tiny as she was such a powerhouse. And, you know, this day and age, everybody is about, not all, but most material things. And, you know, here she is fighting for every little life that she could come in contact with. So that's my favorite. So when it comes to compassion, and then the other woman I always adored was Maya Angelou. Her writings, where she came from, what she had to endure to become, finally to overcome what she had to go through. And that's pretty adorable. And her color, you know, unfortunately, I wish I could see and experience that color doesn't matter anything. If we have less melanin in our skin or more, we are all the same. We all want the same. And I think we women, we have the same desire to have children, raise them, becoming something. And, you know, I just, if I could have a magic wand, I would just put these stars out where I say, we are the same color, look beyond it. So that's where I love to work on, because it just breaks my heart. I have lived in Iran. I was married to an Iranian. The people had more colors in their faces, and the beauty and the warmth I experienced, luckily, before the revolution happened. So, you know, my heart is so open to every nationality, any. And the women in India, we have listened to it. I just love the story. What was his name? Who talked about it today? Uh,
Ella?
about the Indian women. And, you know, he as a man is not there to, to control women. We women are it. We are the strong ones. We give life. Oh my God. How many men on this earth need to learn that? So I love to do anything in my power, in my environment, to really make skin color disappear. You know, that's just something to reach out and stick together and grow together. This is really what I'm after. And I, with my new coaching, this will be incorporated there too. So we have so much to do, and this is wonderful to have this tapestry of all different nations. I love that. It touches my heart. So yeah.
Thank you, Hedda, so very, very, very much.
Sure.
I did a presentation on Saturday on World Speech Day on Clubhouse. It was very interesting. And one of the, as part of this, I was doing it basically on Kamala Harris and the idea of shattering the glass ceiling. And I went to look at, you know, how many other countries have had women leaders and this kind of thing. And it's amazing how backward we are in America. With the number of countries that, I mean, Dominica has had a woman leader, Pakistan. I mean, you go through all of the countries and it's like, it's this litany of countries. And we sit here and, you know, we just elected her vice president,
Right.
Black, South Asian, and women. I mean, she covers all three, but she is an interesting woman, and I'm so glad that finally, after 3 women nominees, that we were actually able to place one in the vice president's position. So
yeah, that's so elating. She's a superstar, shining star.
she
You
is.
know, hope for, we can start again. We should not be where we are.
Mhm.
We are the country, the melting pot of the world, and we need all to accept each other together, you know?
I love it. Kimmy has decided that she's closing the rooms in 30 seconds.
Well,
So we can go ahead and leave, and I'll see you. I'll see you on the other side.
All righty.
oh yes, Frederica, I sent you a note.
Thanks.
Good.